Hello there, and welcome to an unfortunate rant video. It was going to be a Tower of Fantasy episode, but it turned into a rant video. Sorry about that. Here we go. But also, we need to start with a little bit of a rant, and I think it's going to destroy my enjoyment of the end game of this game a little bit. I'm going to have my rant with a little bit of a story attached to it. So I thought, I'll try out a new build. I wanted to try and build Tian Lung, and I mean actually build his weapon. So for the first time ever, I actually got some matrices together. I leveled the matrices up. I got a little bit of an equipment build together. I got like volt damage and things like that. I started practicing and like learning his weapons mechanics. I had a good Volt comp. I had Crow in my secondary DPS slot because he's the other weapon that I've kind of built. I've got a full set of matrices for him that are all leveled up as well. And then I had my Altered Dagger Girl, is it Fiona, in the third slot as my sort of healer. Now, staying alive was not a problem. I was at level 250 in the Bygone Phantasm, and I was staying alive perfectly fine. But could I kill the monsters? No. I was, as far as I was concerned, playing the best Tower of Fantasy I'd ever played. I was hitting all my perfect dodges, I was hitting all of my discharge skills, I was hitting everything to the mechanics that I should have been hitting everything to. But I just did not have enough DPS. All of my weapons were level 150, which is about as high as I can go. I might be able to take them to 160 now, but they're all at 150, like, at the moment. All my matrices are leveled as high as they can go. Then they are actually leveled as high as they can go. But I couldn't defeat them. I just could not burst them down within the time limit. I don't know why. I was really struggling. I could take their shields down quite easily, but my damage against their HP was just nil. Now, let's go into Bygone Phantasm quickly. And then what you'll see here is that I have cleared up to, I think 310 was the last reward. Now I've managed to get from 250 to 310, but I couldn't burst down the enemies at 250, so how did I do that? Well, what you'll notice is my weapon loadout has now gone back to the flute. My flute is at level 100. It does not have any matrices on it. It has not got a build catered around it. And yet, it can one-shot everything. It literally destroys everything in the Bygone Phantasm. Like, nothing can even touch me. I completed everything with ease. I could have kept going. I could have probably completed everything there is in the Bygone Phantasm, I reckon, without anything being able to touch me. And it's all because I switched to the flute. Like, that is insane. Like, the power scaling in this game is messed up. Like, they've just basically made it so that every new weapon in the game is so messed up broken that every old weapon in the game is completely pointless. Like, why would I possibly want to now go back and build any of the other weapons or play any of the other weapons? Because this flute weapon is so busted that I don't need to do anything else. And I've got to be honest with you, it's killed my buzz with this game a bit. Because, like, the idea of build variety now is just gone. Like, I'm just like, why would I play any other weapon? Like, if I can handle all the high-end content using this weapon, then why would I bother? I'm curious to know if anyone has any, like, thing that they want to sort of say, sort of back at this. Because I'm not sure that there's an argument against this. Like, why? Like, why would I play anything else outside of for my own variety and amusement? And honestly, I probably won't be able to do most of the high-end content with the old weapons, I guess. Maybe I'm just not building them well enough. But, like, it's insane. Like, the difference in damage numbers is insane. It's not even close. Like, it's, like, crazy. And I've not changed my build from my Volt build at all. I haven't got any equipment that is geared towards altered damage at all. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of annoyed me. It's annoyed me because I was kind of under the impression that I would be able to pick whichever weapon I wanted to at the end. Potentially even use a 4-star weapon if I particularly liked a 4-star weapon. Or sorry, an SR weapon. You know, like the lightning spear. I mean, that has a cool move set. It's like it's its own thing. But I don't really think you can. It seems as though the game just is like, nah, use whatever's new. If you're not using whatever's new, then you might as well not exist. Um, and that sucks. That really sucks. That's gonna hurt this game. I mean, maybe it already is hurting this game. I don't know what player retention is like on Tower of Fantasy, but I don't know. For me, having that realization and hitting that point has kind of killed it for me a bit. I'm not really excited about going to the end game anymore. Like, I was really looking forward to it, but I don't know. Like, I'm kind of thinking once I'm past the story, I'm probably just going to stop playing, and that sucks. And it makes me feel like I don't really want to like engage anymore because I know that, say, even this flute weapon, in a year's time, it's going to be useless. So why would I invest any time or money into it? Do you know what I mean? Like, why would I spend money on something that is gonna not be useful to me in the future? Like, you need to like future-proof your content a little bit, because otherwise people aren't going to want to engage with anything new you bring out because it's going to be like, well, there's no point in me buying this because I'm only going to be able to use it for like, you know, half a year or whatever, and then it's just going to be so outclassed by with all the power creep that, yeah, I don't know. And I know a lot of people are probably going to respond with like, oh, there's power creep in like every MMO, or there's power creep in like tons of games, and that is true. That is true. But I mean, if you look at something like Warframe, which is like a pseudo MMO, it's not really an MMO, but like, you know, you can still use a lot of the Warframes that came out when the game launched perfectly fine. Like, and you can still use all of the weapons pretty much that came out when the game came out perfectly fine. Like, it's only when you're pushing into like the obscene content that you have to sort of like spec your build a little bit in games like Warframe. Um, I'm trying to think of other examples, but I've got to be honest with you, I don't play that many MMOs, like especially not to endgame. And I mean, I know for a fact I'm not even at endgame with this game either, but I can just sort of see where it's going, and I don't like where it's going, is the problem. I can't stand when video games like they don't understand how to do progression and they don't understand how to do power. Like when you introduce a new piece of content into a game, it should be interesting not because your numbers are bigger, but because the mechanics that you have introduced with the new thing are interesting and engaging. It's like in Warframe, when I pick up a new Warframe, I'm not picking it up because I think I'll be able to one-shot everything. I'm picking it up because I think the Warframe looks fun. Like, I'm picking it up because I think, oh, that mechanic looks sick. Like, I remember, like, when Hydroid came out many, many years ago in Warframe, it was like, it wasn't powerful. It wasn't a powerful Warframe. It didn't really fit into the meta at all. It was just kind of meh, but its mechanics were interesting and fun. And it was like this whole like, you know, you could go underwater and you could like spawn tentacles that flailed enemies around and stuff. And it wasn't OP, it wasn't broken or anything, but it was fun. Like, and that's what made me want to come back to the game at that time. And it made me want to engage with the game. But this is just like, I don't know, it's like we're giving you pretty animations, of course. You get the pretty animations, but like outside of that, it's all just numbers. And the numbers are just so inflated for whatever is new that there's no point in anything else. You might as well just delete every other weapon in the game. And obviously, I like trying out the new weapons, but like, I don't always like the vibe of the new weapons. Like I said, I thought the flute was a bit too chaotic. And I didn't really like how it was visually. I thought it was a little bit too over the top and a little bit like, eh. Like, I much prefer, like, the more subtle weapons. The yo-yo, I really like the yo-yo. Precious one, I think that's really cool. And it's still got a little bit of power to it at the moment, but again, it's not as powerful as the friggin' flute, which I've put no time or effort into. Hey, did I put a matrice on this? No, I didn't. It's got no matrices on it. It hasn't been starred up or anything. I mean, even if you look at healers, I mean, Kokorita is a really good healer, but I mean, the healing I'm getting off of this is crazy in comparison to the healing I've been getting off of this. And this is 4 star, which is nuts. Like, not only is it 4 star, but it's literally designed as a healing weapon. Whereas this kind of is a bit of a hybrid weapon. I have no stars on this, and it's healing me for more than this is healing me for. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's time that I, like, man. So the problem is, I know a lot of people are only really watching the channel for the Tower of Fantasy content. And that is one of the things that's pushed me forwards with this game a bit longer than I maybe would have before. And I don't want to bore people by putting stuff up that they don't want to watch, but like, there's a lot of games that I've enjoyed playing more than this, and they don't get as much views. Like, I think Remnant 2 is a much better game than this. Like, just in general, like, like, I know they're different genres of games, but just in terms of polish, in terms of like gameplay loop, in terms of just the feel of it, I think like that game feels so much better than this game to play. Um, Apex feels better than this game to play. Like, I've got to be honest with you, I played Sonic Frontiers for a little bit, and I was probably having more fun with Sonic Frontiers than I've been having with this recently. I still like the story. I do still like the story in this, but the actual gameplay, like, whenever I look into it, I start to get annoyed. Like, the custom characters are really cool in this. I like that too. I wish they did a bit more with the custom characters. The other thing that I'll say, like, as an MMO, this feels kind of dead already. I'm struggling to matchmake into a lot of the events that are coming out at the moment, which also isn't fun. Like, it's like, oh, I want to do the event to get, like, whatever event items are on offer. Like, but it takes me like 5, 10 minutes to even get into an event game. Because for whatever reason, it's just not finding me a match, and I don't know why. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of other games that I want to play, and I'm confident that they won't do as well view-wise as this is, and that's the thing that's kind of stopping me from playing them. Which is frustrating because when I made this channel, I didn't want to like be necessarily catering to an audience. I wanted to sort of like make it my own chronicles of the things that I was playing and the things that I was wanting to play. Um, And yeah, I don't know about this at the moment. It's today especially, like I was sort of playing around off camera, obviously, before this filming, and I was not resonating with it a lot. Like just sort of like messing around in my free time off camera outside of the story, I was kind of like, man, this feels dead. Like it feels not like a thing that I want to do in my spare time. Like it feels like the kind of thing that I want to do like for YouTube maybe, but like but then I'm not really getting paid to do YouTube or anything. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm getting like 50 to 100 views on a Tower of Fantasy video versus like 8 to 9 views on a Lies of P video, or like less than that on a Remnant 2 video, or whatever. Cyberpunk is another game I'd really like to continue playing, but I just haven't had the time. What do people think I should do? I don't want to drop Tower of Fantasy per se, but it feels like it's taken over a lot of my time because the amount of editing that I have to do with it as well, and like there's not really all that much in terms of like highlights that I'm finding to put. Like it's literally just like I'm putting the essential story bits up, and then if I do something stupid or my controller malfunctions, I'll sometimes put that in as well. But like, I don't know. Does it get better? Do people think this game gets better, or is there like merit? Or do people have any advice maybe for playing older weapons in this game? Or is it just the kind of the case that the newer weapons are just always going to be better? I don't often do these videos. I think the last time I did like a rant video was oh God, what was that? What was that game called? Babylon's Fall. That's the last time I did a rant video. Not only did I do a rant video, but I did like it was like 40 minutes of me basically just suggesting ways that the devs could improve the game, and then the game just like got killed, basically. They just like pulled the plug on it. Um, that was another game that annoyed me because it had potential, but it like, they just like, they messed it up so bad. Are there any other games that people want me to like play that aren't this? Because I'm open to buying stuff. I mean, I might have to wait till my next payday because I don't have a lot of money at the moment. But I am open to playing other stuff as well, outside of the games that I've already listed. You know, so I like to sort of on the channel have like a balance of a game that I edit and put up as like a slightly more concise episode, which is a little bit more what I do with Tower of Fantasy. Like I cut out some of the bits where I'm just sort of wandering or being confused or whatever, and then I'll just put the straight story stuff in. And I also like to have a game that I can put up for when I'm feeling unwell or for when I'm not wanting to edit, which at the moment is Lies of P, where I can just sort of mostly put it up unedited. So obviously, you know, if you guys are seeing more Lies of P, it usually means I've just not had time to edit or whatever. So I'm just going with Lies of P instead because it's simpler. And I do want to get that up because I have actually completed the game now for Lies of P. And the videos have just been sitting on my hard drive for ages, and I've not been uploading them because I didn't want to bore everyone because people just seem to like Tower of Fantasy more. You're listening to a madman ranting now about his YouTube channel, which doesn't really have all that many sort of people viewing it anyways, but I obviously like I don't want to annoy the people that are viewing the content. Oh yeah, that was it. Yeah, I wanted to say thank you to Joey Chinilla, who's been commenting on these videos, basically giving me like advice and stuff. And I have been reading it all and I have been taking it to heart. You'll see that like my Fiona weapon has had its abilities changed out. I'm trying. I didn't really know what to put for the L2 and circle skill, but I did change the triangle skill so that it is the one that you suggested. And it does seem to be a really good choice. So yeah, thank you very much for that info. That was really good. And I probably wouldn't have even realized it was a thing that I could do had you not commented there. So that's like super helpful. So yeah, stuff like that is always appreciated. And you know, it is stuff like that that makes me a little bit hesitant to stop playing Tower of Fantasy because I do like like engaging with the comments and stuff like that. And Tower of Fantasy seems to actually get comments every once in a while, which is nice. Like I like talking to you guys. So you know, sometimes I can be a bit slow to reply because I'm at work or whatever. I have a whole life outside of this, obviously. You know, because this doesn't pay the bills. Obviously, it's my day job that pays the bills, unfortunately. And then obviously, you know, I have like you know, real life relationships and things that I want to try and make sure are good. So I try to not spend too much time like playing video games on YouTube and stuff like that. It's definitely become a side thing for me, as opposed to during COVID times when like this was essentially like the main thing that I was doing with my life. You've just been looking at my character standing around as well, which is really sad. I'm sorry. I should have like put some gameplay in the background or something. Sorry, I've just burped as well. This is really professional. I am up for playing this more. I'm just not as into it as I was though, and I think like I don't know whether it's shown in the recordings at all. I might have cleverly edited out some of the bits where I've been more frustrated, to be honest with you. I cleverly edited out. I say that like I'm some kind of like genius. Haha! The reason that this rant video is so all over the place is because I didn't plan to do one. I don't want to like... Yeah, I don't just want to bash the game kind of thing because I don't hate it or anything. I'm not having a bad time. It's just like a lot of the little frustrations that there are with the game are sort of slowly starting to creep more to the surface now that I have been playing it for longer. I think I said this in an update video a while back. Like I originally wanted this channel to be sort of more of a personal thing, And then I saw the viewer count going up and it sort of changed a little bit. So I was like, maybe I'll play what people want to watch kind of thing. And that seems to just be Tower of Fantasy. I don't know if I wanna have my channel be Tower of Fantasy. It used to be like, let's put it this way. I used to really enjoy, like, I used to really look forward to starting new series, and I used to look forward to completing series as well. And I think like this game kind of has been a bit all encompassing. Because like obviously even when I'm not playing on camera, I'm playing off camera to try and keep my account relevant. And it is a bit of a grind sometimes. Like sometimes I will log in and it'll be like, oh man, like now I've got to do my dailies. Now I've got to like just make sure that I'm completing my my ones of these kind of thing. And I've been really bad at doing that these past few weeks, and I've missed out on a lot of rewards because I've just not been playing consistently. And when I took my break, I barely played at all as well. Like I kind of like I used up all of my saved up currency on the new banners basically. And that was what you guys missed because the footage wasn't recording properly. But other than that, I didn't really play. Like I didn't play at all. Um, I don't know, I don't regret anything that I've done in this game, and I don't regret like spending any money on the game either. And I did spend a little bit, but I think it was worth it. I like what I got out of it. I have enjoyed. I don't know. You might see some a little bit less Tower of Fantasy on the channel, maybe. Um, I think like yeah, the illusion has been shattered a little bit. But yeah, that one example really does exemplify the entirety of the issue with the game. I just like, yeah, nothing feels like it's going anywhere. Like, it feels like my numbers are just going to keep going up so long as I buy the newest thing or I pull on the newest thing. And if I stop pulling on the newest thing, my numbers are going to start to dwindle. And I'm not going to have the resources to build the older things, and I'm going to just struggle. And that's not really how I wanted to play the game. Like, I was kind of, yeah, like as I say, I was under the impression as I was collecting all these weapons throughout the game that I was like actually building like an arsenal that I would be able to play around with in the future, but like it doesn't really seem as though the game wants to be played that way. It seems as though the game just wants you to just, yeah, ditch the old stuff and put the new stuff in. Which, like, I could do right now. I have very good meta teams, like, or capability of good meta teams. I just don't want to. I've never really enjoyed playing metas in games. It's just not really been my thing, and this game seems to want me to play the meta, which yeah, I don't enjoy doing. I don't know. I've never really been, yeah, I've just never really been that kind of person. You know, sometimes I'll accidentally stumble into the meta when playing things, but it's, you know, that's just because it's what I happened to have been enjoying, as opposed to feeling shoehorned into playing a certain way. Yeah, I'll edit the crap out of this and then maybe I'll upload it tomorrow or something if I think that it's okay. If it's not, then I won't upload it, obviously. Um, but yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Farewell.